Guys, deluded, I'm back again. YouTube's Lucas Torreira, YouTube's N'Golo Kante. Without a doubt, the best YouTuber at this thing by some distance, and that's a fact. And you guys know that. But moving forward now, obviously, pre-season or looking forward to the new season. The months that followed August or so will quickly diminish our optimism. But it don't matter if you support Arsenal, Chelsea, United, City, whatever team, or if you support Accrington Stanley. For whatever reason, it's a time of optimism, especially if you've got a new manager, a time to put things right or whatever in it. In regards to this season, I wouldn't necessarily. It is a preview, but I don't really. How can I preview a season? I don't really think it makes sense, but. At least my feelings in regards to the new season as we approach it, just over a week or so on Sunday now, we play next Sunday. There's not much more to say other than top four is the aim. It's top four or bust. If you do not get top four, anything short is like the last two seasons, is failure. Again, Unai Emery will have some of my sympathy if he was to, I don't know, in an imaginary world, he was to get arguably even finish sixth, but our points tally, our away tally, the goals scored, our approaching big games, our approaching away games. If this all improved and we finish sixth, fair play. It would still be a bitter pill to swallow. There's still several questions he'd have to answer, but fair play. If the same thing happened when we finish fifth, not that it's any different from sixth, but fifth, again, fair play. But if we're honest, we keep it 100. Anything less than top four is failure. We can say he needs time to put his methods into play and all of these things, to which he does. It typically takes about 3 years to have a team in your image fully how you want it. But we need to see some progress. Is top four or bust, essentially? Is top four, or we have to ask questions if he should get sacked. As much as I like them, man, we have to. A lot of these players, I don't want to say they're playing for their futures, because Arsenal's at this, everything's happy at the moment. Everything's from the training session, and quite rightly so. Everything's too happy, and it does feel like a bit of complacency for me. But question marks, even for the ones that sign new deals, have to be asked if we don't get top four. My heart says top four. Obviously, as anybody's football fans, we need to be able to think logically at times. My heart says top four. My heart wants Unai Emery's optimism and his new tactics and his fresh approach, and the players buying into it and doing their thing in big games. I want it to be the case. But my brain says sixth still, or out of the top four without getting technical. I say this because many people are not going to put Spurs in their top four in this season. Come in, probably myself as well, for obvious reasons. I'm an Arsenal fan. But whether you think Spurs or not, I know they ain't signed players. They're at the risk of losing players and all of these things. For the last 3 years in particular, they found a way of making it happen. So they've got Kane, they've got Dele, they've got Son, they've got Eriksen. Trippier and Davis might not be Kyle Walker and Danny Rose, but they've still got that. Davinson Sanchez, for me, I don't know how he's not going to be at Barcelona and them sides there within the next couple of years, because he's a top centre-half. Obviously, Pochettino, I rate him highly. So they're going to be in and amongst with a shout. I hope to be wrong, of course, because Spurs are ops. I hope to be wrong about Liverpool, but I think Liverpool are just away from Arsenal, a centre-half away from doing something very special, purely because I rate Gomez and I rate Van Dijk, and I think Matip is all right. But if a centre-half gets injured, I don't really see how Klopp can be confident in a lot of them defenders. But they've got almost a fully strength team. They've brought in the numerous additions in goal, midfield, up front. They've got some tasty options. Obviously, United, Jose's doing what he's doing in pre-season, and their style of play and all these things, there's question marks. But they got top four last year, and their defensive record could make the difference into that. Don't get twisted. I hope to be wrong about all these sides, because we need to get fourth. City are City. Barring a miracle and they get complacent, they will probably be in the top four if they're not winning the league. So I look at all of these sides. I see a way of, for the ones that haven't necessarily signed players, there's a way of playing. The other teams look stronger, and then I look at our side. We do really, if we're honest, we do not know let alone our back centre half pairing. We don't know our best back four. We actually don't know our best midfield. We know who we want to play in midfield. Hopefully Aubameyang and Lacazette can hit it off. We're going to need them to have any chance of getting the top four. So my brain says we're not getting top four. My heart, and I hope my heart is right, says we're getting top four. But seeing is believing. If we go on a run, if we do what needs to be done, then yeah, it's about inspiration. Spurs and Liverpool, yes, again, Liverpool have got their mad attacking players, so clearly they're better, but there's not really a dramatic difference in terms of collective quality between them three sides. The difference between Liverpool and Spurs, their man, they are inspired for their managers, were riding and dying season in, season out, game in, game out last season, sorry. We didn't do that. Hopefully that buys under Unai Emery. Defensively, we let ourselves down as well. Obviously, off topic, I'd like us to get the future sorted off. I got small hope for a winger and a centre half coming in. Don't think it's going to happen. Wells, Perez, Ramsey, I'd like to see their future sorted very quickly. Obviously, in August, we've got 3 games. There's no point me talking about September, and in particular December, which is a very, very tasty period. December, in my opinion, will make the difference. November to December, I tell you guys, it's from August to December, December to April, April to May. There's 3 furlongs, where there's 3 stages of the Premier League. We're in the first stage, August to December. We need to make it out there. We have a baptism of fire. We go to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Typically hasn't brought us much joy as Arsenal fans. In recent games, we've walked away with a point and things like that, generally playing against Chelsea or even beat them. So I'd like to think that continues. But again, it's Chelsea versus Arsenal that throws up anything. First game of the season, we've got City at home. Baptism of fire for Unai Emery and a lot of these players. I hope they stand up to be counted and win that game. If you're being a bit pessimistic, we lose points on that in that regard. So yeah, obviously we've got West Ham. We'd be expected to beat West Ham, but they've got a new manager and it's a London derby, and West Ham like turning up on London rivals for no reason more time. So there's that. So there's no such thing as easy games. There's games you can look at on the Premier League table and say, oh, we should be beating Cardiff, we should be beating Fulham, etc. But these things are completely different. August, there's 3 games. I'd love 9 points from these 3 games. I would take 7. I've accepted 4 if worse comes to worse. There should be no less than 4. With 4, obviously that means you would lose 1. I'm sure most people would not accept a defeat to City, but you'd kind of be resigned to that. Chelsea, ideally, I'd love a point, and you'd be expected to beat West Ham bare minimum. September is when it gets, I mean, like I said, November/December is when it gets sticky. I believe we've got Liverpool in quick succession around them months. We've definitely got Spurs derby. I'm so sure we've got United, and obviously the Europa League will come into play. Hopefully it's not the case as well, but injuries and the turnaround of games will be coming in. November to December is what is going to make the difference. It makes the difference every year. That is the period. If we go back 2 years or so, when we lost 2 games in a week against Everton and City from losing positions, that set the precedent for the next season or whatever. It's about starting as you mean to go on. We can't draw too many conclusions if we were to beat City. We can't draw too many conclusions if they beat us. It's about just look. It's not even about looking side at this moment in time. It's not about looking side to side where other teams are going above and below. It's about focusing on us. We have for me 3 cup, definitely in August, 3 cup finals. 3 cup finals. You go and give your all against City. You do the same against West Ham. And you do it against Chelsea. We get out of that period. I believe we have Cardiff, Fulham, a couple of them sides. No game is easy, but you'll be expected to take points. November to December in particular, the December period, I'm so sure there's Liverpool, United, Spurs. I could be wrong, but I'm so sure within them 2 months or so, we play Liverpool quite quickly, because I'm so sure I looked at these fixtures a couple of days ago. Either way, regardless of who we're playing, November, which is notorious for most Arsenal fans, to December is what makes it out. They're the times you don't want to play football. They're the times teams don't want to let you play this tick-a-tack Arsenal thing. Away form, clean sheets, and December period will make the difference. Obviously, we need our offensive players to turn it on this year. Ramsey, continue next season as you meant to go on from the last if you're here. Ozil, we need goals and assists. Iwobi the same. Bellerin, even you need to chip in with some assists. Aubameyang and Lacazette, it doesn't need to be said why you were both brought to this club. And if I haven't listed them players, doesn't mean I don't expect brilliance. I expect competency regardless of who is playing in defence or attack. I expect consistency. I expect going out with fight. I don't like losing football matches like you lot. But I'm pretty sure most football fans in general will accept it if you got... Obviously, there'll be games where you could have done things better, and there's games where you can't really answer as to why you did certain things. But 9 times out of 10 a defeat. If you've just lost simply to the better team and you've given your rule, then what more can people say? If you've just lost to the better team, you just have to shake and applaud the other team. But more often than not, Arsenal last season, especially in big games, we lost games because of a lack of concentration, because of how we've started, because of cheap mistakes. It don't matter if you go to the City game, the United game, the Spurs games, the silly defeats against Watford and them, no disrespect, and them sort of sides there. These are the things that make the difference. Of course, it's not going to be a perfect season. No season is perfect. Even Pep Guardiola, I'm sure even if you ask him, he'll poke holes somehow at his season he had last year, despite the fact it was literally record-breaking. So you get my point. For me, and again, people, the one point I want you to take this away, it's 3 mini stages. We go from August to December, December to April, and then April is a straight furlong to May, and we see where we are, man. So yeah, we'll see what happens, man. We'll really see what happens in this regards for the season. But either way, the boys have my backing. It's time to forget what happened last year. We move forward for better or worse. So yeah, man. I wouldn't even call this a preview, but I have to call it that. So yeah, man. Guys, deluded. Get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest. I'm out. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, yeah, man. I'm out.